Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. In this video, I will brief you about the rules for changing direct speech to indirect speech, and particularly in this video, I will take up the interrogative sentences and all the rules that have to do with changing the direct narration of interrogative sentences to indirect narration. So the first rule says that no conjunction is used. For that, I would simply describe that there are two kinds of interrogative sentences. Firstly, that of those types which start with the direct question word. And what are the direct question words? For example, where, when, why, what, how, etc. And the others are those that start with some helping verb with some auxiliary verb like will, shall, has, have, did, do, etc. So in the initial case where the interrogative sentence start with the direct question word, where there no conjunction would be used in the indirect speech, rather these words like what, where, when, they would work as the conjunctions. Whereas in those interrogatives which start with an auxiliary verb, the conjunction if or whether will be used. They both would be right, they both would be appropriate. You may use any. Secondly, reporting verbs such as said, these are also called the tag words, said, said to, they would be changed into inquired, asked, demanded, etc. And the last rule says that the interrogative form of the verb changes to affirmative form and the question mark is omitted in indirect speech. This is very much important. We have to change the formation of the sentence from interrogative to affirmative because we have to remove the question mark. For example, in the first example, that is where do you live? Asked the boy or said the boy. So this is the reporting verb which is in the past, and this formation of the sentence that tells us directly that this is a interrogative sentence which start with the direct question word where. So we are going to write down the reporting verb part. The boy inquired. We may also write the boy asked, where do you live? So where do you live, we would see where, that would come directly over here, that would work as a conjunction. And do you live, since this is the interrogative formation, we are not supposed to write it interrogatively, rather we have to change that into affirmative formation. Therefore we are going to remove this do, and do suggests that this is present indefinite, and according to the rules the present indefinite would get changed into the past indefinite if the reporting verb is in the past. Therefore we would write simply lived over here, and you, this is the second person pronoun, that would change into the first or the third person according to the rules. Therefore we may write here I, as well as we may write here he or she or they. This is up to us. So they both would be appropriate. In the second example, why has she started it late? He said simply would change into asked. Why would work as a conjunction. And next, has she started it late? Definitely the affirmative formation tells, in the affirmative formation the subject comes before the auxiliary, before the helping verb, and in the interrogative formation the subject, the helping verb or auxiliary, that comes before the subject, she. So here what we would do, we would simply see that we are going to place she first. She, since this is the third person singular number, therefore that would remain unchanged, and we are going to place it as it is over here. Has started, present perfect would change into the past perfect because the reporting verb is in the past. Had started it late. Next, that's the example of interrogative sentence. We'll start with an auxiliary. She said, will you come for the party? She asked. Here we would use whether or if as a conjunction. We may use any, and we are going to write only one, whether or if. She asked whether, will you come for the party? Will would change into would. You, second person pronoun, we don't have any object, therefore that would change into first person or third person. Come for the party would remain as it is. But what we will do, we will simply write whether we or he or they would come for the party. तो इसके लिए एक और एग्जांपल आपसे शेयर करती हूँ मैं. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ द सेंटेंस इज ही सेड हैव you got the keys and full stop. So if this is the sentence, what we will do? Firstly, we will simply change the tag word said into asked. He asked. Now have tells that since this is the auxiliary, therefore we would use if or whether as a conjunction. I would use if. Done. Then have you got the keys? Definitely we have to place you, the subject, before the auxiliary. Therefore we are going to see that this second person would change into according to the object. We don't have any object, therefore that would change into the first person or third person. So simply I would write here I. If I have got. Now we are going to see if the tense will change. The reporting verb is in the past tense, therefore the tense will change, and the present perfect will change into the past perfect, and it would be if I had got the keys. This would be the change of narration. Similarly, in the next example, if the example is the students said, did we get good grades, sir? Sorry. Did we get good grades, sir? Question mark. Yes. So if we get such kind of sentence, what we will do? Firstly, we have a look and we see that since this is interrogative formation, our auxiliary comes first. Therefore, this is the interrogative sentence. The student said, we would simply write the students asked. Asked is a very safe term if we are not very much sure about the sense of the reported speech. The students asked, did get. Did get suggests that this is the past indefinite. And according to the rules, the past indefinite would change into the past perfect if our reporting verb is in the past. And yes, we have spotted that our reporting verb is in the past. So if I simply go on with the step by step with the change of the sentence, so did get would change into had got. Okay. And we, this is the first person, and first person would change according to the subject. What is the subject? Third person plural number. Therefore we would write they, because the subject would be followed by the subject would come first. The subject would come before the auxiliary. Therefore we would place they here. Had got, did get would change into had got good grades. Now we have to because this is the direct address term, this would not be used directly in the indirect speech. We are going to remove this sir into, like we are going to use it as an object. The students asked the teacher, because in indirect narration we are not supposed to use the direct address terms like sir or ma'am. We are simply going to write the students asked the teacher. Okay, we have not used any conjunction because that was an auxiliary, the interrogative that starts with an auxiliary. Therefore we have to use if or whether as a conjunction. The student asked the teacher if they had got good grades. This is how we will do it. Similarly, in the next example, what are you wearing tomorrow? Direct question word is there. He asked me what. Directly यहाँ पे आ जाएगा. Are you second person pronoun, and that would change according to the object if the object is there. So yes, we have the object here. Therefore, we are going to write I. What I was wearing the next day. I subject जो है वो पहले आ जाएगा आपके auxiliary से, क्योंकि हमने इसकी formation affirmative करनी है, interrogative नहीं रखनी. So that's all about the interrogative sentences. Now we will move towards the next type, which is direct speech to indirect speech, including request, command, wish, exclamation. So request and command and advice, they are called imperative sentences. Wish or desire, that would be for operative sentences, and exclamation for exclamatory sentences. So we would be moving towards these three types. So firstly I would start with the imperatives. So what do the rules about imperatives say? In indirect speech, commands and requests are introduced with an infinitive. What is an infinitive? Infinitive क्या होता है जी? To plus first form of the verb. V1. First form of the verb. This is called infinitive. Like to come, to go, to do. So wherever there is the verb which is followed by to, we are not going to change the tense of the verb. That would remain the first form of the verb. This is called infinitive. It means that whenever we are going to write a sentence and there to, which is followed by the conjunction to, we are not going to change the tense of the sentence of that sentence, because that is followed by to. That means that in imperative sentences, which are where the conjunction to will be used, we are not going to change the tense, no matter the reporting verb would be in the past or in the present. For example, she said to her, please complete it. She said to her. So she said to her, said to would change into requested, because there is the use of please over here. That means that that is a request. She requested her. To will be used as a conjunction to and then completed. Please, we are not going to repeat please because this is the direct address term. We have incorporated, merged it with said, and that has turned into requested. That is changed into requested. We are not going to repeat it. Next, Hamid said to Zain, sit down. Hamid ordered Zain, or Hamid asked Zain to sit down. The mother said, my son, be ready to help others. So my son is a direct address term. We will use it as an object. The mother advised her son to be ready to help others. I would write another example. For example, the doctor said. The doctor said. Okay, हम to the patient कर देते हैं. The doctor said to the patient, don't. We will write D with the capital letter. Don't smoke. Full stop, inverted commas, close. If we get such kind of sentence where there is a use of don't, so what we will do, we will simply see that what is the sense of the sentence. So we may write here, instead of said, we may write here advised the patient, or we may also write here warned the patient. Now, instead of writing to, since this is don't, so we will write not to as a conjunction. Not to smoke. This is the way to take up the negative sentences. And if we may also write it, the doctor forbade the patient to smoke. This would also be appropriate and accurate. Next, we will move towards exclamatory sentences. Exclamatory sentences are those that express any feeling or emotion. And those feelings or emotions could be that of grief, sorrow, happiness, excitement, surprise, regret, etc. For example, and there are two ways to make exclamatory sentences. One is that we may use any interjection and with the simple sentence like alas we have lost, or we may say wow it is wonderful, or we may say hooray we won the match. So this interjection is going to make this sentence exclamatory. So there is interjection and after that there is exclamation, and there is a simple sentence, assertive sentence, we have lost. How we are going to do it? We are simply going to change this said into exclaimed. Exclaimed with what? Exclaimed, that depends upon the interjection, that depends upon the reported speech, and this is which is going to help you decide that what you are going to write as a tag word here. So since this is sorrow, this would be the they exclaimed with sorrow, and this comma would be replaced by that. ओके, दैट कंजंक्शन हम यूज़ करते हैं अपने फॉर्मेटिव सेंटेंसेस में, और फिर हम यूज़ करते हैं अपने एक्सक्लेमेटरी सेंटेंसेस में. कंजंक्शन जो होता है वो टाइप ऑफ सेंटेंस टू टाइप ऑफ सेंटेंस वेरी करता है. दैट दे हैड लॉस्ट, Now we is the first person, that would change according to the subject they, तो ये they बन जाएगा. Have lost. Present perfect would change into the past perfect because our reporting verb is in the past. ठीक है. अब alas जो है that would get merged with said and that would turn into exclaimed with sorrow. So we are not going to repeat alas here. The other we have to change this exclamatory formation of the sentence into the simple sentence. In the next sentence, she said, "How brilliant you are." She exclaimed with appreciation, or she exclaimed with surprise that I was very brilliant, or he or she was very brilliant, because you is the second person and for that we don't have any object here. Therefore, we may change it into the first person or the third person accordingly. For example, if there is, I would give you another example. He said, "What a wonderful sight." Then there is exclamation mark and inverted commas close. This says that this is maybe he exclaimed, sorry, we will try to exclaim. This is more appropriate in exclamatory sentences. He exclaimed with surprise or amazement or wonder that, comma would be replaced by conjunction that, it was a wonderful sight. Yes. So this is how we would do the exclamatory sentences, and now we will move towards optative sentences. Optative sentences may include some pray, curse, some wish, desire, etc. And these are called optative sentences, and the rules for optative sentences are similar to exclamatory sentences. We are going to firstly change the tag word according to the sense of the sentence. So since this is "May you live long, my son," it seems a prayer. Therefore, I would write the grandma prayed that you second person pronoun, and okay, prayed my son को हम शुरू में ले जाएंगे because that is the direct address term. Prayed for her son, prayed for her son that you, second person pronoun, that would change according to the object my son, so that would change into he. That he, may would change into might because our reporting verb is in the past tense, that he might live long, and full stop. In the second example, the formation of the sentence is going to, since that's also optative, but here we may use infinitive when we are not going to use the rules for exclamatory sentences which are fixed for exclamatory sentences. He said to her sister, "Good luck." So that seemed a wish. He wished her sister good luck. Here we would write it like this. Similarly, if says he said to her sister, "Happy birthday," it would be he wished her sister a happy birthday. So this is how we would take up optative sentences. And that's all for today, students. In the next lecture, I would take up rules of converting indirect speech to direct speech. So for today, that's all. Thank you.